Right, so now we know how to convert our evil files and make them function like files that the target person trusts. It won't show anything that will make the target person thinks that suspicious things are happening, and it will also have an icon that will look similar to what the target person expects. The only problem with the files that we've been generating is that it does not have a convincing extension. So you can see that the file name ends up with a .exe, even though we're claiming that this file is a PDF. So that's an issue. Now, usually on Windows systems, by default, the computer will not actually show the extension, the file extension, but still, the way that the file looks like this now is still not 100% convincing because it ends up with a .exe. And in this lecture, I'm going to show you how to spoof the file name to make it look as if this is a PDF, even though it's still an exe. Now, like I said before, there is exploits that will allow you to inject the payload inside a proper PDF or an image, but these exploits will not always work. They'll only work with programs that are vulnerable, and the latest updates of Acrobat and all these programs are not vulnerable. So even if someone discovers an exploit, say today, for example, this exploit will probably be patched next week, if not before that. So if you use the ready exploits, there's a high chance that they won't work, where the method that I'm showing you right now is it does not use any exploits and it will always work. So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna open my LeafPad just so that I write the name of the file in here, just so that it's easier for you to see. Now, to spoof the file name, I'm gonna use a UTF character that will instruct the computer to read the characters from right to left. Now, by default, the computer reads the file name from left to right. And the way we're going to do this, when we use this character, the computer will read the characters from right to left. Now, this is a bit confusing, but once I use it, it will become clear to you. Now, the file name has to end with exe, and we know that, and there's nothing we can do with that. Then we're going to have our file name, and let's call it, for example, Zaid. So the file like this is very suspicious. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the extension that I want to use after the file name. So I'm gonna put a minus, and then I want to use an extension of a PDF. So it's PDF, because I'm trying to make my file look like a PDF. Now, the reverse of PDF, if you read it from right to left, it's FDP. Right? So instead of a PDF, I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to write in FDP. All good so far? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my right to left character in here before the F. So what's that going to do? It's going to tell the computer to read everything from left to right as usual, ZAID, followed by the minus. And then the computer is going to read my right to left character in here. Once it reads that character, it will start reading stuff from right to left. So it's going to go exe.pdf. Okay? Now, let me do it. It's going to become more clear. So I'm going to go to my applications, and I'm going to look for characters. I'm going to hit enter. This is just a program that will allow you to use characters that don't exist on the keyboard. So I'm going to go on the search, and you can see that I've already searched for this, but in your case, you want to search for left to right override. And you can see the character showing up right here. We're going to click on it, and you can see that we have a button that will allow us to copy the character. So I'm going to click on that button. Now, the character itself won't display anything on screen. It will only tell the computer to read stuff from right to left. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to click, and I'm going to do Ctrl-V to paste it, and watch what's going to happen. So you can see now the computer is reading everything from left to right until it hits the right to left character, and then it read the stuff from right to left. So it read exe.pdf. So let me remove that. See, everything is back to normal. So it's fdp.exe, Control V, paste the character, and it's exe.pdf. Now, this name is still not good because it doesn't really make sense. It's not really useful. So I'm gonna assume that my target is interested on the human body and they're, for example, they're studying health science or something related to that. And I'm gonna name my file according to that fact. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my exe because that's essential. Like we said, the file name has to end with an exe. And then I'm gonna put the file name. Also, before the exe, we need to have the file extension that we need to spoof our file, and that's going to be FDP. Like we said, it's the reverse of PDF. And then we're going to put the file name. So I'm going to call the file, for example, research on human reflex. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna delete the last two EX because these two EX will actually be replaced with the EXE once I paste my right to left character. So I'm gonna delete that and I'm gonna paste my right to left character, and what's gonna happen is the computer is gonna read the stuff from left to right. So it's gonna read research on human refill and stop. And then it's gonna read stuff from right to left. So it's gonna read EX to finish the sentence. So it's gonna be human research on human reflex. And then this will be reversed as well. And it's gonna be read from right to left. So it's gonna be .pdf. So I'm gonna do Control V in here. And as you can see now, my name is research on human reflex. And I have an extra E here, but that's fine. And then it's ending with .pdf. So I'm gonna copy this file name and I'm gonna rename my download and execute PDF in here. And I'm gonna highlight everything, delete it, paste what I have, rename, and that's done. Now the only issue with this file is if we go to the Windows machine right here and go to 10, 20, 14 to 13, evil files, you'll see that we have the file here, and you'll see that the name looks fine. So it's research on human reflex.pdf. But when we actually come and try to download it, you'll see that Firefox and modern browsers will detect that there was a right to left character, and they'll actually replace it with its Unicode equivalent. So when you download it, it'll still be a .exe file. To bypass this issue, we're going to right-click this file and compress it to add it to an archive. And we're just going to use a zip archive because all Windows computers support zip natively, even if you don't have a program to open it. So we're gonna add it to a zip archive, and we're just gonna name the file. We're gonna remove the PDF because we don't need that, and we're just gonna call it research on human reflex. I'm gonna create, and that's my zip right here. So if I refresh now, so I have the zip file right here. And this is the file that you should use to deliver the backdoor if you're gonna ask the person to download it from a link. If you're given the file on a USB stick or any other delivery method, then it's fine. You can just use the exe right here. But if you're sending it through a URL, make sure you zip it so that when the person downloads it, the right to left override will not get replaced. So I'm gonna download this. I'm gonna save it. And I already have WinRAR installed. Now, if you don't have WinRAR installed, you can just double click this and it will open it for you in Windows Explorer. For me, I can just right click it and extract here to uncompress the file. And you can see the file right here. It has a PDF icon. It's called research on human reflex.pdf. Notice in here it's .pdf, so it looks exactly like a PDF. And then if we double click this, it will open my PDF. There is no suspicious pop-up windows. And if we go back to our Kali machine to Empire, you'll see that we got our agent. So we can interact with this agent and we can do sysinfo just to confirm that we have access to the computer. And as you can see, we have full control over this computer. We completely hacked it. And we managed to do that with a file that has a PDF icon, it has a PDF extension, and it functions like a PDF. When the person double clicks it, it's going to work like a PDF. And the download and execute method that I showed you can be used to combine your evil files with any type of file you want. You can combine it with an image, with a song, with a video, and it'll work exactly the same that it's working right here. The same goes with changing the icon and changing the extension. All of this is very generic and it can be used to mimic any type of file that you want. So depending on your target, depending on what they're interested in, depending on the information that you gathered, you should pick a file that the target person is highly likely to open.